Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse will, and probably already has, change everything. And the reason why it's going to change everything, and it already has, is I know this video's a little late, but after have seen like a movie like Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, or maybe a movie like The Flash, I can strongly say now that Spider-Man did what both of those movies tried to do, because they both tried to do two things that Spider-Man both did, and I think Spider-Man did them better. And with Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning is a whole part one thing, where it's like, yo, like, that movie I feel like did that better in terms of wrapping up the entire story before going to this part two. But it's like, you know, typical movie tropes, find the thing, get the thing. But I love Mission Impossible. But this is about Spider-Man. But I think that whole part one with this coming out, I'm sure everyone in Hollywood freaking sees these movies and we're like, holy shit, this is going to definitely be the new wave and how things are going to keep going on. So I'm sitting back and I'm like, okay, well, I enjoyed, because when I first saw Spider-Man, I was like, dang, it's over? Like, I would have definitely sat there for 2 more hours, but I definitely appreciate the story that was going along and the characters and everything. And with Dead Reckoning, like I said, they wrapped everything up, they got everything together, and it was like, okay, cool, done. Let's see the second movie coming out next year. Well, you know, barring the writer's strike, actor strike, hopefully all that will blow over and we'll be able to go back to seeing good movies in the theaters. But as far as The Flash is concerned, how The Flash was handled, that one was a multiverse movie, and I appreciate how in The Flash they, you know, visualize it, and, you know, at the end with everything on there. And I'll make sure to leave spoiler warnings ahead of all this, but how they, you know, show that, I really appreciated that. A lot of those Easter eggs I understood, I got, so I really much appreciated seeing all that on screen. But with Spider-Man, visually showing, there's a scene where he's looking back at the house party, or the block party, and he's looking at the portal, and he's trying to make a decision whether he should just go home, or should he follow this, or should he take this risk? And he takes that risk in that visualization and how the story keeps going, because it's really Miles' story. Some of the best Spider-Man stories, especially going back to Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, the first one, the story is always happening, and Spider-Man is always in this place to where he has to make a decision where he wants to either go with the story or do his own thing. And I think the best part of the movie, which shows us this in Across the Spider-Verse, is when Peter tries to get him to hold the baby and Miles will not hold the baby. This is a good representation of how the movie wants Miles to follow the script, follow these things, but he simply won't. And I think that's a great movie trope, and how characters are fleshed out on screen. And that's another thing that I really loved about this movie. How fleshed out the characters were. Every character played their own role, had some type of significance. They showed us through facial expressions, they showed us through flashbacks, they showed us through so many different ways on how these characters bring what they're bringing to the story. And I really thoroughly appreciated that. And my first time viewing this, not gonna lie, I was a little messed up, but I was a good messed up. And looking at my buddy over to the left of me, I'm like, yo, like how is this like going like this? Because I'm thinking every movie should be like this. Every movie should have this type of dialogue, the meta dialogue, all of these different types of things that engages the audience, has double meanings, and where you can really leave the movie and go have your own interpretation of it. And I think that's amazing, that I could talk to someone about this movie and we could think two or three different things and we're all right in a sense. So I love the fact that all the characters are like this. And I think honestly every superhero movie should be made like how this one is made. And I think we're already gonna go kind of see something like that. And I think the market's kind of testing that with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So how that one's coming up and how that one's being written, I think that one is gonna be a good movie. I can't wait to see it. But that could also be the first example of how something like this can suck. But hopefully that won't be the case, because I know people are mad about how they're kind of changing one particular character. And, you know, those types of characters have never really, you know, upset me with screen, because those are real people. You know, like, for example, She-Hulk. She-Hulk's a real person in real life. Now, that my person might not be streamlined or mainstream enough for their own TV show, but having that opportunity to see this character on screen as authentically as possible, praises to the actor. I can't think of her name right now who does She-Hulk, but praises to her for, you know, bringing that character to life. Because I'm sure that's not how she is in real life. And if she is, who cares? But check this out. I love seeing those characters. And I think a movie like Spider-Man will help us get to the core of characters and like different types of characters on screen. So that'll definitely be something that we'll see in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I feel like they're having like a, and I could be wrong, but like a new My Little Pony. That one looks trippy. Now, initially when I saw those trailers, I was like, you know, I don't have kids or nothing like that, so I might not take or see it with anyone. But at the same time, they had one of these scenes where it got a little trippy, and I was like, you know, I love the theatrics, I love the theater, so might just do it because I see movies for free now because I got them unlimited, so that's a plus. But beyond that, one of the biggest issues I think in the movies industry is how much they cost. So with me being able to go see these movies for free and everything and be able to come back and create the content for you all is that the cost is negated. I often go by myself, but if I do go with someone else, it's not as expensive. But if you're just, you know, the average person working your job and everything, and you want to go to the movies, it can get rather expensive. Because before I was able to do that, you know, one ticket for an IMAX would have been about $30 because I live out here in the Metro Atlanta area. And then if you try to get popcorn and a slushie just for yourself, that's about $50. So you take your date, you take your family, you know, these prices could be really, really high. So a movie as visually stunning as Spider-Man with a great fleshed out story will actually help revitalize the theater industry beyond just, you know, the writer strike and everything going on. So giving, you know, the customer more than just a product like here, like how a couple of these Marvel movies is. And I'm real indifferent on Marvel's Phase 4, but just, you know, people aren't appreciative when you're just slapping things on $300 million budgets. And, you know, I'm not enticed, I'm not engaged, I'm not invested. But with a lot of these movies, I think this could start a trend where people are going to start using word of mouth, getting everything out, and people will go to the movies more, especially after all of these different things. So outside of all of that, first time viewing this, second time, third time, I think every superhero film should be made like this. Even superhero films such as where they're not traditional superheroes, like a Mission Impossible, where we get to see these characters like come to life, really root for some characters and really see what their purpose is in these movies. I definitely think the dialogue, very meta, like all these different things that go on, love it to death. And I think if every superhero movie was like that, we wouldn't have to worry about superhero fatigue, wouldn't have to worry about box office things, because the product would be good. Like everyone would just go out and enjoy these movies in the theaters. Because that's one thing that I really genuinely dislike is when I'm trying to go to the movies and everyone's like, I'll just wait for it for streaming. I'll just wait for it for streaming. Movies, and a lot of these movies were meant to be seen on the big screen. Because it goes beyond just wanting to see the movie. It's wanting to experience it in a couple different ways. They got ScreenX, IMAX, RPX, 2D, 3D, Real D. There's so many ways to experience a movie on the big screen. And, you know, not all of us are lucky to have a theater room in our house with a popcorn machine, all these different things. I don't have that. That's a goal of mine, but I don't have that right now. And most people don't. So if we want to get that theater experience, we have to go to the theater. So it's on the studios, it's on us of word of mouth to get all this praise out so we, the viewers and the customers, can actually, you know, go see a good product. And these studios can continue to deliver these products. Like a movie like Guardians of the Galaxy set a tone of how Marvel movies are made. I think a movie like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse can be a tone of how all superhero movies are made. You know, not a big fan on these part 2s and continue seeing later, that whole marketing fuse, you know. I don't mind sitting through a 10-hour movie. I don't mind. You know, most people, they don't. You might have to pee during this movie if you know, most people probably saw it by now. But that's another thing, the length of movies. I'll watch a 10-hour movie. Most people won't. So being able to, you know, with the animation style and all these different types of things, I think that is a different medium we can attack to make a shorter movie, more palatable movie for the average moviegoer. But overall, I really love Spider-Man. Best movie of the year, definitely a revolutionary movie outside of all these other different things going on. I think if business was normal in Hollywood, we would have actually probably seen the revitalization of the movie theaters. But I'm glad you all stuck to this point in the video. Thank you so very much for watching this whole video, getting to this point. Really, my main goal with this channel is to bring a place of a community where we all can just talk, get to the comments. Make sure you like, leave a comment, subscribe, and have a conversation in the comments down there. Because one thing I hate in my real life is when I go to the movies, I don't have enough people to talk about as thoroughly about these movies as I genuinely want to. I love movies so much, so being able to create a space where multiple people can have conversation about the movies, fan theories, give their ideas in a nice, safe environment here on the virtual net is something that I'm really interested in creating. So it would help me out a bunch, and I would really much appreciate you. Like I said, dropping a like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you next week. And if you like this video, or, next week, I'll see you whenever I see you. But if you like this video, man, check this out. Let me know. I'll make more videos like this. And I appreciate you all, sticking tuned. I love you all. Love yourselves, because loving yourself is better than my love. But have a great one. Peace.